This week we've got some Old Republic ships, some top tips,
Don't do that again.
and some clever quips.
Hey! Shut up!
All to come in Chapter 27 of Dark Force Rising. Hello there, I'm Darren.
And I'm Kat.
And welcome to The Real Sequels, a series of events that happened after Episode 6 in the books, novels, and sometimes comics of the Star Wars Expanded Universe. Today we're opening with Chapter 27. And we opened Chapter 27 with a proximity alert. Warbling. They'd finally made it. Both men on the surface ready for another mission. But below the surface, Luke could feel that there was something off about Han. Luke asks if he's alright. He's fine. He just wishes they got someone else to do these jaunts around the galaxy. After a month of not seeing each other, he didn't even get a full day with Leia.
Someone's in danger of getting the Ford finger.
Yeah, Luke replies in kind. He feels like they've been running since they blasted out of Tatooine with the droids and Ben Kenobi. Han says that it's not only that, but now the Noghri are on our side. Whatever that means, and he can't even get the story from Chewie, as he says it's not his story to tell. Luke jokes that they're just too good at the job, but the real reason is that Leia has a very short list of people who she can trust at the moment, with Delta Source leaking information to the Empire. They pull out of hyperspace. The icy blue snaps back into the blackness of space. Dead center in the middle of nowhere. They do a quick scan with Wedge in tow. They pick up a target at 047. Luke craned his neck in the direction Han pointed, and at first nothing but the usual stars. Then they appeared. Dreadnoughts. Han was originally going to check the closest, but Luke said no. Instead, they would follow his vague impression, tingling through him to a dreadnought a few kilometers farther away. They approached the deceptively archaic but dangerous looking ship, and docked with Han's casual skill. Lando, Chewie, and a four-man team were waiting in the cargo bay as they were preparing to leave. The tech team ill at ease, unused with the blasters in their belt. Han asked one of the team members, Anselm, how the air was. Better than it should be, he replied. They must have some droids still doing housekeeping duty.
Through the viewport, somewhere in the background of the hangar bay, there's a protocol droid in full maid outfit, pushing a mouse droid on a stick, singing, "I've got to break free."
Han laid out his plan. Chewie, Anselm, and Tomris will take the sled and will go to engineering. The rest of them would head to the bridge. The ship looked as if it had been abandoned yesterday, but it had been floating in space for half a century, and their crews had died in agony. Luke wonders what the droids would have thought about all this as they cleared away the bodies.
Life still goes on.
They reach the bridge and get a report from Lando that the ship's not going anywhere without a full overhaul, but they are still checking the lightspeed capabilities. Just then, Luke spots the elaborate name plaque, the Katana. This was the reason for the Force guiding Luke to this particular ship. Just then, Wedge gives an alert over the comm. They've got company. An escort frigate. They patch through to announce themselves and hear Captain Virgilio of the escort frigate Quinfus. He regretfully informs Han that he and his entire group is under arrest and that they should return to their ship. Meanwhile, on the bridge of the frigate, Fey'lya throws an insolent look at Leia and Karrde, and states that perhaps Han is not taking their threats literally, and perhaps deploying their X-Wings would convince them that they are serious. Yes, sir, the captain says, without a hint of resentment. One of Fey'lya's staunchest backers, Leia now knowing who exactly was in charge. Fey'lya and Wedge have a gentle back and forth, outlining the ridiculousness of this arrest. He is confused because his orders came from Leia. Fey'lya, however, says that his orders are coming from Mon Mothma. Wedge finally says, "And if I refuse?" To which Han cuts in, saying that's alright. Not worth getting a court-martial over. And then a faint click of a disconnected comlink
Fey'lya then throws his toys out of the pram.
Yes, he does. He asks Leia to get him back, but she says Han won't listen to anyone when he's like this. Fey'lya was then about to threaten Leia, but before he got a chance, something triggered the alarms of the Quintus. An Imperial Star Destroyer.
Ooh.
Wedge and the rest of Rogue Squadron observe the situation. 12 ships deploying from the Star Destroyer. Drop ships by the looks of them. Han and the team headed for the hangar bay. In the meantime, Rogue Squadron headed towards the Star Destroyer. Fey'lya claimed that he was insane. But Leia instead stated that they are running cover. But it'll be far too close, and they'll need us to back them up. But before she could complete her sentence, Fey'lya ordered the captain to recall his X-Wings and make the jump to lightspeed. Leia protested for a second, having the overwhelming desire to grab her lightsaber. Fey'lya reminded her that Mon Mothma put him in charge, and if they help Rogue Squadron, they will most likely die along with them and Leia's unborn children. A low move. Lower still, the bothan said the Quintus will withdraw, as he pulled a blaster on Leia, and neither you nor anyone else will change that. Back with Han, they and the team couldn't leave. By the time they get on the transports, they'd be in range of the TIE fighters. They weren't leaving, and they weren't going to leave Wedge's team alone. Han orders the team to check the turbo laser battery power couplings, and they'll check the fire control. Here we go, Han said, as he looked over the unfamiliar complex displays of the fire controls and let loose the only shot he'd get. But it had been worth it. The turbo laser had hit the drop ship's dead center, taking out 5 ships and a couple of TIEs. However, the shot had taken out the power coupling, and that was the end of that trick. Now they were going to have to get ready for the boarding party.
They could try spinning.
Well, that is a good trick. They set a meeting spot in the main corridor. They would see what defenses they could set up, to which Luke said there would have to be some defenses, especially if it's 40-1, to which Han replied, "Never tell me the odds." Meanwhile, back in the Quintus, Leia is still arguing at gunpoint with Fey'lya, with only 2 minutes until lightspeed is ready. Karrde, however, grabs a datapad and outlines the actual situation to Leia. Fey'lya doesn't want to risk the ship because he organized it so that all his military supporters would be here. Karrde furthers that Fey'lya wouldn't want to risk losing any of them to something as outmoded as loyalty to one's comrades, especially after working so hard to convince them how much he cares for the average fighting man. Leia threw Karrde a look, but then quickly trigged on to what was happening. She asks Fey'lya if this was true. Was all this being on the side of the military just for political power? To this, Fey'lya replies, "For Leia not to be so foolish. What else use are soldiers to a politician? And is that why you don't care if Rogue Squadron dies? Because they stay out of politics?" Replies Leia. "No one cares if their enemies die, and all those who are not on my side are my enemy." With a gesture of his blaster, he says to Karrde, "I trust I need not say more." He had indeed said enough. Looking out the window, Leia sees that the Quintus X-Wings were on their way to help Rogue Squadron. Just then, the door bursts open with Captain Virgilio stepping through. He asks his men to escort Fey'lya to his quarters. Virgilio then leaned over the intercom on Fey'lya's chair, ordering all hands to stations. The captain turns coldly to the bothan, saying, "Some don't consider loyalty to be outmoded." Leia then turned and thanked Karrde. He said it wasn't for her or her war, but Mara and his people would be turning up soon, and he didn't want them facing a Star Destroyer alone. "They won't," replied the captain. Fey'lya, however, said that it is a lost cause, as he turns his blaster over to one of Virgilio's men. Virgilio, however, said that that's alright, the whole rebellion was a lost cause, and excuses himself to go and run the battle.
Wait, hang on. So Karrde Monsters inked him?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's watch my favorite part again, shall we?
I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die.
Finally, we switched to the Chimera. It was touring the region that Pelion had dubbed the Depot when the report came from the Adjudicator. at the Katana fleet. The Republic had arrived much sooner than anticipated. Karrde must have been generous. In the moment, Thrawn had decided that the Chimera would personally go and help the Adjudicator. He called for his navigation to set the course, but the man in navigation became unnaturally stiff.
Stiff.
Then the comms officer announced a message coming through from a Lancer-class frigate that had just entered the system. Master C'baoth, I presume? You presume correctly, said the voice over the comms. C'baoth demanded an audience with Thrawn now. Peelian projected that it would take at least 15 minutes to get him on board, enough to win or lose a battle. He instead orders the Star Destroyer peremptory to help the Adjudicator while they consult with C'baoth.
C'baoth.
It's like, Master C'baoth, I presume, and then C'baoth's like, no, C'baoth.
C'baoth.
C'baoth then thanks the chase and signs off. Meanwhile, Thrawn sends the navigation officer to sickbay, and while that's happening, Peelian murmurs that C'baoth must have hijacked that frigate. Not only that, but he's been sending them messages over several light years, and also now knows how to possess people, and apparently has melded the two abilities. Peelian looking down at the crew pit with a shiver down his spine saying, I don't know if I like that, sir. Thrawn agreeing, he doesn't like it himself, and it may be time to reconsider their arrangement with C'baoth. Reconsider it carefully.
Ooh. Well, I think they have reason to be concerned.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, C'baoth is insane. But yeah, no, it was a cool chapter. It's nice to see the douche get his due, and Fey'lya finally, like, his last little grasp of power being pulled from him. But is it too late?
A very satisfying episode, though.
Yes, absolutely. Very satisfying chapter. Well, that's about all we've got time for this week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if we've earned it. And check out some of the videos at the end of this one. And we'll see you all next time. Bye!
Bye!